Hi, Corey. Welcome to the Meetup Spot. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. Good. So Louisiana's fine, right? Is it snowing there?
Oh, no, not at all. Very rarely. Very rarely.
Okay.
Well, where I'm from southern Louisiana.
Oh,
Maybe the northern part gets a little bit of snow, but not where I'm at. In
ah,
fact, last year was the first time we got snow, like that much snow. We got like 8 inches. It was the first time we got snow like that since the 1890s. So yeah, not very often.
ah, okay. So, are you ready to start, Corey?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay. So, Corey, tell me about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm from Louisiana, like you mentioned. I was born and raised in a town right next to New Orleans, considered kind of part of the New Orleans area called Metairie. It's literally right next to New Orleans. I am number two of five girls, no boys in my family. And I was born and raised in a little fourplex apartment with two bedrooms. So me and my three younger sisters shared a bedroom for most of my childhood. My older sister is 10 years older than me, so she was, you know, out of the house sooner. But yeah, it was we were pretty tight, like literally and figuratively. And yeah, I just grew up. I was always a really shy kid. So I just kind of stayed to myself, but became really good at drawing. So I studied art. When I went to high school, I studied both art and I was also in the band. I played the flute. And then when I got to college, I studied fine arts and graphic design there. So, but yeah, like growing up, I was always a really shy, reserved kid. So I was just very introverted. So I just drew a lot, wrote a lot, and played a lot of video games. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much wrapping it all up.
Ah, okay. Uh, and are you still a shy and are still shy today?
Um, yes and no. I realize it's more of like I just have to be around people I like. I don't know, vibe with. Like, as far as like hobbies or interests go. If there's something that me and someone have in common, like I can talk someone's ear off, and I have I have no shyness. I think just growing up in school and stuff, it just seemed like I felt like an outcast, I guess, because I don't remember there being any girl gamers or like I like anime and back then that wasn't really talked about, I guess, at school and I don't know, I was just really shy and I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself back then, but it's definitely changed over time. So yeah, I think I'd say I'm still shy, but it really just depends on the people I'm talking to. Otherwise, I'm not very shy.
And what kind of video games you play?
Um, I like to play, well, currently I'm playing the game of the year one, Expedition 33. I'm currently going through that one. So I'm very big into RPGs, JRPGs, ones like Expedition 33, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy, anything like that I'm really big into, but I like Mario games, like platformers. I like Zelda, that I think that's considered more adventure. And I like Animal Crossing. So anything that's along those lines. I also like farming sims like Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, Stardew Valley, anything like that. I guess you consider it mostly cozy games, but the RPGs definitely aren't cozy. Oh.
Interesting,
Oh, and
interesting. Art.
Pokemon. I'm sorry, I
Oh
forgot
yeah.
Pokemon. I'm a big
Po
Pokemon fan.
I see. I see. And why do you do what and why do you do what you do?
Well, I when I started, I'm really obsessed with beading. Like, I don't know if you see my collection back there. I
Oh
love
yeah.
collecting all the different colors, and I love making stuff that, like stuff that I like personally like the big thing that got me into perler beads, because I didn't even know about. A lot of people when they come up to me when I see them at conventions, they're like, "Oh yeah, I used to do these when I was a kid." And apparently, perler beads have been around for decades, but I hadn't seen them personally till I was in my late 20s and I was working at a craft store. And I'm like, "What do you do with these?" Um, I Pinterest was becoming really popular at the time. The social media app Pinterest. It's a lot of DIY stuff, and I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I'm sure I was scrolling and I probably saw perler beads and how they were implemented at the time. Like, wait, you can have video game sprites in your house? And like being a big like Nintendo, Super Nintendo fan growing up, like the first system I remember having in my house was a Super Nintendo. I was like, oh, I can have those. I can make anything I want from those games and have them in my house. And it started the passion, and I've just been rolling with it ever since then. And like I just really enjoy making a lot of the stuff that I feel passionate about, like, video games and a couple other pop culture things, a couple of anime. I don't really have time to watch that much anime anymore, but I'm definitely into the more retro stuff I grew up on. But yeah, it was just like I like doing it so much, I decided to make a business out of it, and I've been doing that ever since. Yeah.
I see. And what was perler beading like at first, and how did it go on from
I'm sure from what I remember, I started really small, and what's really not talked about with doing melty beads is there's actually a learning process involved. You can't just line up a bunch of plastic beads on a headboard and expect it to come out looking great. There's a lot of like figuring out um what the and this goes for every iron is different from one to the next. Like the particular sweet spot for your iron, because that's the hardest part, is the sweet spot for what to put your heat setting on for your iron personally, and just making sure you don't stay in one spot too often while you're ironing. You just kind of constantly have to move your hand around to like keep it generally warm. But if you stay on any area too long, it can warp the art. Just things like that. Just it's definitely been a learning process, but what's really cool is like it seems like the longer I've just because I've been beaten since 2013. It seems like there's just like I'll go online and there'll be even like stuff to do that I had never even thought of doing with perler beads. So I love that how creative people can be with it, and that includes myself. So uh it's so much fun. It's like you could do so many different things. I would say when I tell people they should start beading, because they always ask me at shows, I'm like, anybody could bead. Like you could make anything you want. You don't have to be into anime or video games like me. There's people who bead sports logos. There's people that bead like sh characters from shows that they like that have that you wouldn't consider any kind of geeky or anything like that. Like you could make something functional. Like you could build a shelf out of perler beads if you wanted to. So it's like I encourage people to get into it.
Nice. And also, same thing with cosplaying. What was it like at first?
Cosplaying, well, See, I've been doing conventions for 10 years now, and it just seemed kind of synonymous with the other. Like you go to a cell at an anime convention, and there's people dressing up, and I do enjoy dressing up. Like before I was cosplaying, like I was uh dressing up for Halloween every Halloween and Mardi Gras and any kind of special occasion I would say I love to dress up for. So when I started doing anime conventions, it only made sense because I already love to play dress up to go ahead and start doing the cosplay thing. So yeah, it's just whatever I'm into at the time. Now, cosplay is a little different for me from a regular cosplayer since I'm always selling at shows. So for me, the cosplay has to be very comfortable and I have to be able to move around a lot in my booth. So yeah, it's usually like for me, it's more like a comfort thing, but also like I like um I think cosplay helps bring people to come see my booth because they say that I'm one of them, not just selling stuff just to make a buck. I'm actually like, considered a fan like they are. Oh,
Nice. And do you make a lot? Do you make a lot of money in your booths or?
do I make a lot of money?
Uh,
Yeah, I guess it depends on the show, really.
oh,
Like some shows it can be kind of but some shows can be really, really good. It just depends from one to the next. And what's interesting too is there's a lot more conventions than there used to be. So just because a show did really well the previous year doesn't mean it's gonna do so well the next year. So it's always like I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell from one show to the next. But yeah, sometimes I made some really good money. It just depends.
nice. And okay. And Corey, why Core's Plastic S'mores? What does Plastic S'mores mean?
Um, so I came up with the name on a whim because I was making an Etsy shop and I was doing something else, plastic s'mores, and it wouldn't fit. And then it was actually my boyfriend at the time. He's now my fiance. He came up with the name because he was like, "What about Coors Plastic S'mores?" And I think it became plastic s'mores just because perler beads are stuff you melt just like you would if you were you've heard of the snack s'mores? It's
Yes.
like the graham cracker, chocolate and marshmallow. You have to melt it to eat it. And I think that was kind of the concept I thought like when we were coming up with this was it's my plastic melty stuff, I guess. So yeah, that's where the name came from.
I see. I see. And Core, okay. What was your first ever convention or craft fair you went to?
My very first convention was actually MechaCon back in 2015. That was a convention that was in New Orleans.
Oh,
And sadly, they don't have MechaCon anymore. The people who ran it didn't want to do it anymore, so they stopped it. And there's been a lot of like substitutes since then, but nothing quite taken MechaCon's place yet. But it was like I want to say when it was the very last one, it might have been around, I could be wrong, but I think it was like maybe it was more than 10 had gone on and it had grown exponentially. It ended 2021, so right after COVID, and it was like kind of mecha themed, but also very much anime, gaming. It was just like the only giant convention at the time that everyone in the area went to. So I was very lucky to be that for that to be my very first show because some people start really small and then work their way up. But since I had attended MechaCon already as an attendee, I guess I was familiar with it in that sense. I didn't really know too many other conventions. There really weren't that many at the time. So yeah, I just ended up doing MechaCon. So yeah, I started off. really big for my first one, but now I do a lot of big and small shows. So yeah.
And what are the best experiences you've done in MechaCon?
My best experiences, I would say the people I've met. Because honestly, like a lot of them I've met at MechaCon, I've like stayed friends with over the years. Like, like to this day, like, because I just did a convention this past weekend. There's some people I see there that I remember all the way from back one of my first conventions. It's just something about it's so good to see all your friends, since I've made a lot of friends at doing these shows, and and I guess it's just like just looking back how it was so good to just put myself out there and meet a lot of people that I had a lot in common with. So yeah, I would say I'm trying to remember the original question. It had to do with I'm sorry, do you remember? I know I always go off on a tangent. It had to
Well,
do with messages.
that was a follow-up. What were your best experiences at MechaCon?
Oh, my best experiences. Yeah, like I said, I'd say it was definitely the people there. Just people that recognized me and came back the next year to come get something else, or friends that I made, like whether it's fellow artists that also sell at these conventions, or just good people like cosplayers and other people that are into the same kind of stuff I am, and we all became friends afterwards. Just, I would say that's my most favorite thing. That, and since I'm in the places where I can talk about the stuff I love, just me and somebody, because I'm displaying what I like when I'm selling my stuff. So they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I love this video game from Super Nintendo," and I'll be like, "Yeah, that's one of my favorites," and we'll just go on and on and on back and forth about it. So just having a fun conversation at that show would be another experience.
Mhm. Okay. And what kind of energy did you have when you went to conventions or craft fairs?
What kind of energy?
Yeah.
Mm, it depends, because honestly, like I'm not really a morning person and I have to get up really early to go to these shows. So I'd say like in the morning, depending on what show I'm in, I can be really sleepy till halfway through the show and then I'll wake up. But I try to stay positive and like I'm always surrounded by a lot of people I know, so it's hard to like just sit there and just chill to yourself when like you have all your friends hanging out nearby. So like I try to bring a good positive energy, a good like, hey, come check out my stuff and feel free to follow me. And then oh yeah, what's your favorite one? Oh, I love him too, stuff like that. I just try to talk to people a lot. I know they're there to have a good time as well, and they might be interested in the same stuff I'm interested in, just talking back and forth. So I just keep that in mind. Like anytime I'm doing a convention, is everybody's going out there to have a fun time, and I want to be a part of that. So.
That's awesome. And okay, you were at St. Tammany's CollectorCon, and you said your booth was close to celebrities. What was it like?
Uh, it was pretty cool. Like, I'm very like, you want to talk about me being shy. I'm very shy when it comes to celebrities. Something about famous people, I just like can't make eye contact, and I'm very reserved and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. Every time I'm sat but near celebrities, I'm like, yay, that's awesome for me, because that means like a lot more people will be by my table than usual, because they might be in line to see the celebrity, but also like just being in close proximity, like you just can't help but to like look and be like, wow, that's really so and so over there the whole time. You just can't help but just kind of. be in wonder that they're in the same building as you. At least that's how I feel about it, because I'm like a bit like I'm just super. I know they're just people too, but it's cool to like see somebody that you've only seen on TV, like right there in person. So yeah, and it's also interesting seeing celebrities in person too, because you're like, oh wow, they're way taller or way shorter than I thought they were. So.
And did it like give you more people to come to your booth?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're like the line to the celebrities is like on the way to my booth is on the way. So if the line's backed up really long, in fact, that happened at the last show. I did Fan Expo this past weekend, and the line for Hayden Christensen and who was the other one? It might have been Christopher Lloyd. Like those were like two, oh, John Cena. Like the line was all the way backed up to my booth, which was nowhere near. Like you want to talk about a long line, but they had backed up all the way, all the way to my booth. And since they were standing, it's like people like while they're waiting, they have nothing better to do. So they're just looking around and they might see my booth and they might just, since they're sitting there a while, to be like, oh, she's got Ayla from Chrono Trigger. I might want to get that. And they come over and buy something from me. So it kind of works out in my favor. I never asked to be by the celebrities though. It just kind of happens that way.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, no complaints if it does.
Okay. And all right, Corey, how did you make your Perla Beach sprites?
How do I make them? Well, I can actually show you if you want to see.
Oh, sure,
Like
sure, if you
I've
want to.
got, all right, let me grab a pegboard. Yeah, this is actually my table where the magic happens.
Uh,
So it's called a pegboard. You can place your boards, I mean your beads, sorry, your beads individually on this board. And then I've got the beads. Now, I don't typically use my fingers. Let me see if I can find the tweezers really quick.
oh yeah, you use tweezers.
I use tweezers because you can put a lot more beads down than if you were to do them individually with your hands. Like even I've got small little thin hands and even my hands get all clumsy. But yeah, I just grab like I stack up a whole bunch of them if I'm using a lot. Like I tend to like do my uh Perler bead in like one color at a time. So let's say I'm like using a lot of teal, I'll just instead of because some people do it the other way. They fill in one color through each row, but no, I fill in each color as I go. But yeah, like I stack up a bunch of beads and then I just place them on here just to show you guys. You can
Oh
see
yeah.
them placed on the pegboard there and then I put them in place. And then I do the taping method, which if you want to look into that, I tape some masking tape when I'm done the design. And I just put the tape on it. I poke holes after I'm done doing that, which is another big thing. It's a lot to get into, but if anybody really wants to get into perler beads, I highly suggest you YouTube taping method. You're gonna want masking tape. And you can even use your tweezers or something like that. And I'm just gonna give an example here. But you're just going to cover it up and you're going to poke holes through all of those perler beads there. And yeah, you want
And
the
yeah.
entire image to come off onto the tape with the holes on between behind everything when you go to iron. And yeah, then you gotta bring it over to well, I have a heat press, but your heat press or your iron and heat that up and you're good to go. But yeah, that's how
Yeah.
you do perler bead.
Oh, that's nice. And I believe those are mini tweezers, which based on my experience, you can actually pick up like 10 beads in there, right?
Yes, well, yeah, this one in particular, this is the Perler brand, which I don't know if they
Yep.
sell anymore. I want to say they discontinued them, but they do have some really cool tweezers I've been eyeballing that I've seen on TikTok, and like the tweezers go all the way back here. So some
Oh yeah.
tweezers hold even more. So I might be getting a pair of those soon.
Zors. And and how do you find inspirations for your, yeah, for your designs?
It really just depends on what I'm into at the time. Like I'm always playing a different video game. It's sometimes it's something new. Like I mentioned, Expedition 33. Like I do want to design some stuff for that game, by the way. I do make my own pixel art, by the way. So lately it's been Expedition 33 and Baldur's Gate, but then I also love like the old classics. And since I do Pokemon, like there's always some Pokemon I've never made before.
Oh.
If I play the game, so just like, you know what, Busel's cool. I want to make him, like something like that. So it just depends. Another thing I do is I'll be surfing Pinterest or Doodle, and I'll just see a design that I like, and I'll just recreate it. So it's either depends on a video game I'm really passionate about at the time, or if it's a pattern I'm really passionate about at the time. But yeah, it's very sporadic with me.
Mhm. And do you use a Be the Creator app or something on online?
Oh, you mean to make perler bead art or like to make pixel art with?
Well,
I do.
I mean, I use a Be Creator app to help me make designs. Do you use something like that?
Yeah, right now I'm using a program on my computer called Pico Pixel. It's like Pikopixel, and it's just like a little pixel program. It looks a lot like Microsoft Paint. Like I don't know if you remember Microsoft Paint, but back in the day, but it's like you can do it pixel by pixel. And unlike Microsoft Paint back then, like there's a endless color palette, and I just take a picture of whatever I want to do, and I'll like eyeball it and just make the thing that way. Like if it's gonna be like I did the K-pop Demon Hunter girls recently. So like I had a picture of them to the left of the screen. And then like I have like a little basic prototype sprite that I work from, but then I like make their particular hair and clothes and pose I want to do. And I create the design that way. But yeah, like I do that's how I make my pixel art is with that Pico Pixel program.
Nice, nice. And which characters do you usually cosplay, and which one is the most difficult?
That's a good question. I would say the most difficult ones are the ones where the wig ha is giving me a problem because I already have a lot of hair and I don't know how to French braid. So tucking my hair up under my wig without looking like Elvira is a issue. So like my hair is probably always poking out and stuff. And like I don't know, like the wig getting in my face, the bangs, anything like that, anything that has an accessory where it's an issue, I would say those are the most difficult ones. So I try to avoid them, but it depends on the character. Because basically it boils down to is it a inexpensive character I can cosplay? Because I don't have money to blow on cosplay, so I try to stay pretty cheap with each one I do try to do cosplays that I might even already have the wig for, like the wig color. I just did my elf from Expedition 33 over the weekend, and since my hair already has a lot of red in it, like it's kind of like a reddish brown, I just I've got the same length as her. I just put it back and I put some like reddish eyeshadow in my hair like you would with hair chalk. And I just rolled with it. So like a lot of my cosplays, it's just I just it has to be comfortable too. Has to be comfortable with me because I'm always at a convention. So I'm gonna be sitting around most of the time and I don't want to be freezing. or I don't want to be slouched over and anything looks like it's about to pop out, anything like that. And I gotta be warm a little bit too, because those convention centers tend to be freezing. So yeah, comfort is a big thing for me. Wids not being a problem is a big thing for me. But yeah, it has to be a character I like too. It can't just be anybody. It's gotta be a character that I've felt some kind of passion with, as far as like their story or something about them in any kind of setting, whether it's a video game or anime or whatever.
That's nice. Nice. And okay, if people want to try out the hobby you're doing, what do they need to do right now?
I would say they should definitely look into getting a kit, like a perler bead kit, and that would be like by kit I mean like it comes with multiple colors. That way they can make a lot of the little things that they like. And once like it'll come with a bunch of little colors. Like you can either get the bucket or I want to say there's like hats of them, and I'll just show you an example. Because I got one right here. Like you see how this one comes with a bunch of different colors in it, like something like that. And you want to get like a headboard. I think headboards come in little multi-packs, so get those two things at the same time. If you do eventually get the tweezers, I would say wait and see how you do with your fingers first and see how you like making perler beads. And when you're doing them, start to get really good with the ironing. Like if you need to look up like I said, I recommend the taping method. I recommend if you don't have an iron, Googling what other people are using in the Perler Bead community, because there's a lot of really cheap options you can start with. And if you feel more confident and want to go a lot larger, um, building your way up, but always start small. Get a small kit, get a couple ped boards, and try to learn the biggest thing I'd say is learn how to iron your artwork. That's the trickiest part because like you can make it look beautiful, but if you can't get the ironing down, that's to be tricky because nothing is more hurtful than when you make some beautiful artwork on your ped boards that you've been sitting for hours doing, and then you go to iron it and it melts really wrong in one spot and it ends up messing up the artwork, you know? So just start really small and get really good at it and see if it's for you, especially before you start spending a lot of money on it. Like I said, before you start getting tweezers or really expensive iron or heat press or anything, like just start really small. Like there's so many tiny sprites you can do. You can do a tiny little Kirby or a tiny little Mario or a Pikachu or anything like that and just start really small and see if it's for you. See if your patience can handle it, because that is another thing too is a lot of people don't understand how beading is really a test of patience, as you will be sitting in one spot for hours while you're sitting there making something. And it's not for everybody. So it's definitely, like I said, if you want to get into it, start small and also make something that you love to make. Like here's Mardi Gras right here, and that's super easy to do. Mardi Gras color. Make something like that. Make something that you love. Like find uh, something you're into and put perler bead pattern at the end of it on a Google search engine and look it up and see what you like. Something nice and small you can start with. But yeah, that's what I recommend for anybody who wants to get into perler beading.
Hmm, nice, nice, nice. And what do the cosplays and Perler projects you do and being at conventions and craft fairs right now mean to you?
What do they mean to me? I mean, like, I guess I really like how it's kind of putting like myself out there and just telling the world this is who I am, you know. Like I said, growing up, I was always really shy and reserved. And even when like I worked a couple places where it has nothing to do with any of this type of stuff, I keep to myself, other than like I might have a lanyard on with like Sailor Moon on it or something like that. Like I don't really I guess that's what I like about with my booth and what I dress as when I do cosplay is it's like, here I am, this is what I'm like, this is what I'm into. If you had any doubts, there's no doubts anymore. This is what I like. But yeah, that's pretty much the message out there.
Okay. All right. That's it for the questions. Are you ready for quick fire?
Sure.
So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. 90 seconds on the clock. Here we go. One word to describe yourself.
One word, creative.
Okay. What is your perler beading tip?
Tape.
Okay. Best artist you love to listen to?
Ooh, BTS.
One everyday item you can't leave without.
Chapstick.
Okay. Mantra in life.
Love what you do.
Best place in Louisiana for a good meal.
For a quick meal, I would say probably Copeland.
Copeland. Best place in Louisiana to go road tripping or travel.
Definitely New Orleans. You have to come and see the French Quarter at least once.
Nice. Best lesson you learned in being a cosplayer.
Um, to like comfort. Definitely comfort.
Best perler project by far.
Ooh. Um, I think my personal projects, honestly, I really like the K-pop Demon Hunters thing I made recently. I was very proud of that.
Louis fan, yes or no?
Which? What is it? Louis?
Bluey fan, Bluey
Oh,
fan, yes or no?
Bluey. Yeah, Bluey's cool with me. I don't know much about it, but I like Bluey.
All right. All right. I guess that's it for quick fire. Are you ready for a screenshot?
Oh, sure.
All right. Here we go. Here we go, Corey. Anyways, and again, thank you, Corey, for coming here. Any feedbacks and or comments today?
I just wanted to add real quick. I am very slowly building a YouTube channel. I only have my reels on there right now, but I'd like to eventually have videos on there as well. So if you want to add it, I think it's youtube.com/tourist more. So yeah, that's about it. And thank you so much for the taking the time to interview me. I really appreciate it. It's been fun.
All right. Again, thank you, Corey.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.